Can you really taste the difference between Coke or Pepsi? And there's a little catch. All participants in this video have signed a form saying that they can be on video and that they can be tested. The methods we used. Each volunteer is shown 4 cups labeled A, B, C, and D. Each subject is told that 2 are Coke, Coke Zero, Diet Coke, and regular Coke, and that the other 2 are Pepsi Zero, Diet Pepsi, and regular Pepsi. After tasting each cup, they answer if it is Coke or if it is Pepsi. After responding, they take a drink of water so that they don't mix the taste and get confused. Data is recorded before the next cup. No, I can't say that. Go ahead and try cup A.
A sip. You don't chug a sip.
What do you think cup A was?
Pepsi.
Coke.
Coke?
I think that was Coke.
Coke?
That's Pepsi.
Pepsi? Go ahead and try B. What do you think cup B was?
Coke. Okay, I feel like I made the wrong decision on the first one, but whatever.
Pepsi. Pepsi.
You can drink the whole thing.
Pepsi.
Pepsi?
Yeah. Coke.
Alright, now go ahead and try C.
I almost drowned.
And what do you think cup C is?
Pepsi.
Pepsi? Pepsi. Pepsi.
Pepsi.
That's Coke.
I'll try that D. I'll try that D.
Treat me like white teeth.
Flavor. Try D.
Protein.
What do you think cup D was?
What it tastes like?
That one tastes like cold syrup.
Pepsi or Coke? Coke. Okay.
Coke.
Coke.
Coke. Coke.
Coke.
That's Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Cherry flavored.
Here are the results right here. Here on cup A right here, most people thought it was Coke, all right? 3 out of the 5 people thought it was Coke, but only 2 thought it was Pepsi. Same with cup B here. 2 people thought it was Coke, and 3 people thought it was Pepsi. And in cup C, we got a very, very big difference here. 4 people thought it was Pepsi, and 1 person thought it was Coke. Same thing right here, vice versa. 4 people thought it was Coke. one person with Pepsi. That's Cup D. Shocker right here. This is what I'm actually being tested on, you know. Cup A was actually Coke. That was like the actual Coke, right? So, two people, what, it was two people, right? Two people thought it was Pepsi. Cup B was actually Dr. Pepper. What a surprise right there. Cup C was RC Cola. Ugh, gross. Cup D was Dr. Thunder. Surprise. But Parker thought it was what? Cherry flavored Pepsi? That's crazy. I just don't know. Understand. Come on.
The method we used was a blind taste test, and all the participants did not know what was in the cups, but all they knew is that it could be Coke or it could be Pepsi. Blind taste test, meaning that the people that are taking the blind taste test are unaware of the identity of the brand that is being tested. Merely seeing a logo can evoke a emotional response and therefore affect how we process the information. Blind taste tests play a vital role in eliminating biases and giving you knowledge about what people actually think. It makes you really rely on your taste versus knowing with your eyes. So if you notice in the video, the kid wearing a brown Chiefs hoodie, he had not had pop before this experiment 5 months in advance, which is, if you notice in the video, he seemed to pause on the very first Cup A because he had not had pop in a long time. So it was hard for him to figure out what were the pops that were in the cups because he had not had it for 5 months. That normally nobody's ever had, like RC Cola and Dr. Thunder. It was really hard for him to try to connect what those tastes were. The person in the white shirt really likes RC Cola and is actually the whole reason we bought RC Cola. It was actually there when we were buying the leaders for this project and asking him what were his favorite pops, and he said RC Cola. And what's funny is he drinks RC Cola more than anybody I know, and he said Pepsi. He didn't have any connection between the fact that we bought RC Cola that day. What's funny about our results is when we were testing Parker, or the kid in the B, had actually voted opposite of what the average of the group was. So if the group had said Coke, Parker said Pepsi. And to go on top of that, he asked afterwards how many did he get right? And we told him 0, because not only that there was only one up there, like Coke was the only pop up there that was actually being questioned, but he got that one wrong. There could have been multiple reasons why our results are bad and not what we would expect, because the popular pops that we tested were Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper. But on the other hand, the people we tested probably have never had Dr. Thunder or RC Cola. Another reason our results might vary against people is that the pops were sitting out before we got everybody. So Parker, or the kid in the black hoodie, could have had a lot less carbonation in his drink than, let's say, Elijah. I think we could have done different with our testing is we could have tested the people all at the same time and try to get a group average that way. That way they all kind of agree with each other. We should have shown in our video is the reactions when we told people what the results were and what the actual pops were in there. As we could see the reaction, and if they had made any connections, they would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. RC Cola is a lot sweeter than let's say Coke. But we did not get it on camera. The amount of people we could have tested and the variety of people we could have tested, because we only tested guys, and majority of those were juniors. Another nice thing about having the pops in little cups in front of them was so that they could actually see the color of the pop. Now, in this experiment, it didn't really matter if the pop was clear, because all the pop we made sure was the same color, so you could not tell the difference between them just through visual. But on the other hand, we made sure that after every person drank out of a cup, that their mouth was washed out, so that, let's say you don't get mixed Dr. Pepper taste with a mix of Coke, so that you know, these two pops are different, and there's not that similarity in between the two pops. The amount of people, we could have had more pops, because we only stuck with 4. We could have also had multiple of the same pop, so we could have actually thrown in 2, let's say, Coca-Colas, and we could have had 2 RC Colas. One thing that's nice about labeling the cups A, B, C, and D is that we don't have to worry about them seeing what they actually are, as well as when we were doing the testing, we made sure that there was a Coke bottle on the table and that there is a RC Cola bottle on the table. Now, if you don't know, RC Cola has a blue lid, which if you take off the label, looks exactly what Pepsi does. So when we were testing them, we set the 2 bottles in front of them so that they could see the options if it was Coke or if it was Pepsi. And that seemed to confuse a lot of people, because when we said that there was no Pepsi, they're like, well, what's that bottle on the table? We would say, oh, that's RC Cola. Another thing we could have done for our project was we could have not told them that what their options were, so that they could try to guess, oh, this one tastes like Dr. Pepper. And we might figure out that no one actually says Pepsi at all, because Pepsi's not even up there.
Try D. What do you think D is?
Let me guess.
Get down. Get down on it. Get down on it.
Dude, Dr. Thunder's disgusting. Rock on!